What is up? We are going to work on the crazy, insane Hodge Podge again. I started playing and yeah, we're going to get back at it. And I've actually started building. This is far from squared or anything. I just kind of slapped it together. What's up, 3D Custner? I haven't seen you in a while, dude. What's up, Vince? So, yeah, here it is. Here's the base frame. I am going to now... I'm not sure if I want to go this way with it. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't butt it. It's laid on top of, cross framed. I'm not sure if I want to go this way and then build up, or if I want to go this way. And I think I'm going to go this way. And there'll be a reasoning behind my madness. I have these awesome little feet I designed years and years and years ago. Let's see if I can get this thing a little better positioned. And they just snap on. They got a screw hole if you want to freaking screw it. But yeah. Doesn't really need it. It just snaps right into the 2020. They got a little lip here. There's the camera right there. So it locks right into the 2020 frame. And it just snaps right in there in theory anyways. I don't know why that one isn't. Now these are, there it is. These are flexible PLA, not TPU. Which is a little odd, different. It's still very flexible. It's just more, I don't know, it's different. And there we go. We have feet. All right, we're done. No. I need a bigger desk. The printer takes up the whole damn desk, and then I don't have my keyboard and mouse available. Obviously, this thing needs to be squared up, or the table's not flat, which I know the table's not flat. It's just a piece of plywood, and there's no support under it except for in the back. So it's sagging in the middle a little bit. But not a big deal. All of that can be taken care of at a later date. Right now, we need to get on with the concept. And I know this is definitely going to happen. And what this is going to be is LDO Motors sent me this awesome motor. If you haven't heard all of this before, a lot of you have already heard it all before. They sent me this awesome motor, which has an oddball lead screw, and it's really fine threaded. It's a single start, I don't know, 1 millimeter instead of 2 or something like that. I'm going to have to figure it out when I do the math for the motor, but there's no other motor like it. It was a Hodge Podge Printer. This is a part they made for a demo or something. I don't know exactly what it is. But anyways, he sent it to me and said, here's one. I asked him for another one so I could have another lead screw even and just tie them together and use the one motor or another motor. He's like, no, that was a one-off. He actually sent me 2 more motors, which I don't know, we'll give away or something. Maybe that's what I'll do is give them away. But anyways, I'm going to use it. I've decided I'm going to use this motor because it's a really fine, even though it's kind of a small motor, it's a fine thread. So it's got more torque just by its own gearing method. As you can see, I'm turning it. It's barely moving. So it doesn't need as much power. For one, it's just doing a lift. All weight is down. All it's got to do is spin small amounts, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to have it carry on one side. Then also, though, I'm going to have a belt on that carriage go down to this or up to this, depending on how I mount it. I'm actually thinking that's why I went this way. I'm going to mount this underneath. The belt is going to tie this rod together to the other side of the tower. So it's like having 2 lead screws, but the belts are going to keep them in line. It's actually got a backlash nut on it. but there isn't any backlash on it. It's a palm. That's why I like the palm nuts. They don't move, but it's got a backlash nut. I don't know what size it's going to be, whatever it's going to come out to be. I have a 200 millimeter bed. Now, the whole point of this thing is this is all my parts I got laying around. It's just a scrap parts build. LDO sent me some parts. They sent me motors and screens and stuff. Jason from LDO had for demos or stuff like that. Nothing's brand new on this. This isn't even brand new from what I understand. It was used. It works. There's nothing wrong with it, but it was like a demo use case. Obviously, it hasn't been used a lot. Things like brand new. Yeah, the scrap printer, Hodge Podge. It's a Hodge Podge of parts. IC3D sent me a bunch of filament. Most of you guys know this. I had the raffle almost a year ago now. Raffle, giveaway, whatever, of a bunch of, quarter rolls. I think they were about 200, 250 millimeters, or 250 grams. Anyway, it's a parts bin printer, a hodgepodge. It's a hodgepodge of parts. So the more goofy I can make it, hence the whole belt thing, which in all reality, I have a feeling the more I think about the whole belt lift, I'm not big on like the Voron where the belt lifts the whole carriage. The belts are too flexible and it will rock under weight. Now, they've got it under control. But if you don't build it perfect, you could have, if all your belts aren't tensioned, you can actually, as the head moves around. But with this, you're actually getting a solid lift, and all you're using this for is to keep them in time. A lot of people worry about like the dual lead screw with the dual motor, that the motors don't stay in sync. It's not really that the motors don't stay in sync, at least from what I found. All my i3s are dual motor, all of them, where I only got one left. The only time I have it go out of sync is when I kill the power at night. And the side with all the weight on it, with the motor, drops. Because it's got all the weight of the motor on it. The motor relaxes. It does like a half a turn down. Do that a couple, 3 times, all of a sudden the whole X-gantry's out of sync. Where if you just use the belt, all the belt's doing is keeping it from dropping when the power gets cut. The only time you really need to keep the two in time. Now, this is different because I'm not going to have a second lead screw because I can't get a lead screw to match it. I'm sure I can. From what I understand, it is kind of a standard single start 1 millimeter, but they're not as popular as our normal, 2 start or 4 start, 2 millimeter rise, 8 millimeter rod, or whatever the numbers are. I can never keep all that straight. But yeah, this is going to tie the two sides together so it can never go out of sync. In theory. In theory. So anyway, yeah, we got feet, we got a motor. I have to it is going to be an I-frame. I really wanted to do a box frame somehow, but I just don't have enough parts and I'm not getting any more. I do have close though. It came out to be very close to enough parts. But I am going to use these two as the uprights, like so. Now the other thing I want to do that's a little different, I'll keep these from knocking down, explaining this motor. This thing's exactly 300 millimeters. I want to get it as much use as I can. Now you're going to lose a little because of the nut, but most of the time they mount like the motor down here, and when it homes, you always have a big chunk here unused, I've noticed. I'm going to try and lift the motor up. I might have to make a couple of different motor mounts over time, testing and finding out exactly where everything homes, but I'm hoping to get at least 250 millimeters of usable height. This whole printer is going to be a giveaway in the end. Somebody, if they want it, can win it. I'm going to give it away. The whole point is to get the parts out of my house, but make it a viable unit. So everything I'm doing, like it's going to have like a 200 millimeter bed because that's what I got. but I'm leaving this frame huge. So if somebody wins it or wants it, they can put a 300 or 400 millimeter bed or whatever the width is it can handle on it. They can do whatever they want with it after. I'm just going to make it work. It's going to be a decent printer. I'm not going to say it's going to be a great printer, but it should be a decent printer based on everything I'm doing. It's going to have a new board. It's going to have, actually, I'm probably going to take that board. 2208s or 2209s, whatever I got laying around. Yeah. Well, if you look at most of them, they like sit real low. And then there's always, after it homes, there's like 50 or 60 millimeters of wasted lead screw. Why not lift the motor up and bring it so, it's only like a millimeter off. Obviously, you want some play, so, you can adjust for different beds or spring heights or whatever. But bringing it up as high as you can, and I have a feeling I got to bring it up about 10 millimeters above this rail for it all to work. So basically, when this is, I'm not even going to try because that'll take like an hour. I might as well just start doing it now. With this all the way down, say about a millimeter off, that's where I want my carriage to home. I might actually do more like 5 millimeters so you have plenty of play and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I want to maximize the Z height. So again, if somebody wants this printer, when it's all said and done, they can get taller or wider or do whatever they want. They can replace the motor if they want. I'm going to make it, however it's viable. But the only issue I can see, and I can make the part, is the carriage. It has a weird triangle 3-point bolt pattern. But I think I'm actually going to design it for the 3-bolt and the normal 4-bolt. So you'll be able to, if you want to take this lead screw off and this motor off, you pop it off, you put a standard on there, you can get a longer one. That's the only problem with this is, it's 300, but, right there you got, 40, 50 wasted, plus any motion, plus the actual. You're going to end up with about 250 max. I'm hoping to get 250 out of this, which is fine. I mean, think about it. Everyone's loving the Prusa Mini, and it's 180 by 180 by 200. So this should be bigger, barely, but it should have a bigger print space. So anyway, back to the concept of knocking everything on the floor, because the coaster sticks to my coffee cup. What are you guys all up to on this? I'm assuming a bunch of people have the week off because of, Christmas/New Year's. So the next decision is, do I go this way or this way? I'm going to go this way for 2 reasons. One, the major rock is this way. We're having the wider stance. This is 2040, not 2020. The wider stance gives me more stability on this side. And I got more attachment area, and it doesn't look stupid sticking out to the side. So, yeah, it's going that way. And that ends that discussion. I just made up my mind on that one. So I need some screws, and I need some angle parts, and I need some T-nuts. Here's some of it. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to get into 3D printing some of it, because this came out really nice. I'm going to run out of parts. These are actually made for bigger. Again, I'm using Hodge Podge. I bought these off eBay or Amazon or something like that. They're not really made. I shouldn't say that. They're made for 2020, 2040, but they're made to only go in this direction. They're a wider footprint, so they're actually stronger. And I know you can't really see it because it's black, but the problem is if you go like so with 20, they don't really work so well because they overhang, because they're actually 25 millimeters long. You know, it's overhanging that way. And it's not even butted, which is not a big deal other than, and they have the teeth lock. I don't know if you can see it, the little tab that locks it into the channel. So if you put it in a channel, it stays aligned. The problem is when you're going this way and you're teeing it off, that tab gets in the way. So I literally took them outside and I took my router to them. I made a real quick jig that I just drop it down in, and then I slide my router off and it buzzes off the knobs. I was grinding them off at first, and I saw my router over there with an old crappy bit on it, and I went, you know what, that might be faster. And it is. And it does a lot nicer, cleaner job, as you can see. Those are sweet. Watching some building a scrap printer. Yep, pretty much. That's what we're doing today. Building a scrap printer. Scrappy. It will be a scrappy printer. So, I'm not even sure how I'm going to attach this yet, but let's just do it. Like everything I do, let's just do it. Okay, I guess I'm going to need a spin in there because I'm just not going to fight taking it all apart. Not going to fight it. I just don't have enough room. Let's see. This is a 5 millimeter here. And then I need bolts and nuts. And again, I don't have enough room for all this crap. And you need a bigger desk. What you can do, though, I think, is I can bring one of my filament boxes over. Both of them. Stack them up right here. And that way, I can put all of this stuff right there, and it's still close and handy. It's not actually on the desk. Hey, that works. What do you know? All right. Let's look for some short, little, crappy screws. Shouldn't say crappy, because they're not actually crappy, but short. So they don't bind up. And that won't. That's one thing I found is I got to always check in the rail with the screw sometimes, because sometimes they'll hit the bottom inside face, and that kind of messes with things. I'm not sure exactly where this is going to go yet, but it's going to go something like that. Oh boy. Come on. You. Yep, that's functioning well already. Jesus, my big ass. The whole fat finger thing, because I'm getting fat and old. Get down in there. You know, it came out so very easy. Does not want to go back in. It's so bizarre. Let me guess. I need the one wrench I have way over here. And I do. And I need my slippers because my feet are getting cold. The only part of me that gets cold. My hands if I'm outside. So I'm actually going to lift this a little because that's with the feet. I'm going to square all this crap up and all that later. But for now, let's not worry about that so much. And this one, I can use a slide in. So let me revert this that I just did all that for to this one. Because this I can slide into that and it'll still work. And this one I will use the spin in that I just lost somewhere. Lift this up just a hair, get it off the table. Because of the legs, so I don't want it actually sitting on the table. And then I can go like so. Put one here somewhere. Like so. I can do a slide in there, can't I? There's actually nothing stopping it from sliding past. And find another little screw. I already got more of. And we're building away. This is the problem, is I think I'm going to run out of screws I can use in these channels. Because I pretty much used all my 8 and 9 millimeter ones. It needs to be 8 millimeters for most of this stuff, or less. 7 or 8. 10 bottoms out on the inside of the channel. And this one can also be a slide in. Which, believe it or not, it's kind of funny because nowadays I bought so many of them, I actually have more slide ins than I do the spin ins that are much more common. Although I'm running out of both, to be honest. And why isn't that going in? It's holding it up. Oh, the actual tab. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, we can fix that. We can fix that. That one's there, and that one's there, and that should make it. Well, there's like a piece of crap molded into it that I didn't see. Which I hope won't get in the way. Doesn't look like it. And no, nothing square or straight yet. I'm just getting concept. I can square it all up later. But I think I'll get a little more square because that's really badly out. At least make it look semi-square, right? All right, one upright. Kind of, sort of in position. Too much stuff. Then let's do another one. That should be actually fairly stiff once it's all said and done. I square everything up. Yeah. Yeah. That should be the front because it's slightly back. That should actually work. Should be darn close to it. So, once again, we gotta find some screws. Not that one, that's a freaking Phillips head. 12s. I might be cutting this short because I might just simply be out of screws. What are these? 12s? 12s? What are these 12s? I don't have any more 8s. One. Need 4. There's a bunch more. Ooh, are those too long? These might be 10s. Ooh, it's right there. I can hear it scratching on the bottom. Well, the fix to that is I can put a washer on it. And that'll pad it up that little bit I need. And that should take care of that. Let's give it a shot. No scratch. That's beautiful. So, if I take this and find a spin for this one, that's a 4 instead of a 5. And of course I'm doing it on the wrong piece. This can take a slide in because it's going into the channel. This, and that's actually an 8mm, so it doesn't need a spacer. Spacers! This goes into here, like so, if it wants to start. And about right here. Again, this is more concept build than it is physical at this point. I'm not worried about exact placements at the immediate time. That wasn't good. Come on. You slide when I don't want you to, and you don't when I want you to. Piece of crap. Bigger table. Oh, there is to it. Am I catching a nut? No, I am. And it's right about there. So this, I need to spin like so. And then slide it on that nut, which I should just slide it in the channel first and then try and find it. But this is much more entertaining. My hands are just too damn big and fat for this crap these days. Here we go. And then this will go this way, like so. And this will go this way. And we take a nut and we pitch it in there because I know I can slide it in now. And this one can get a slide in. And I will probably be adding more later to these, but for now, do we have another one here? I do. We have a couple of them right here. What do you know? What do you know? Where's the nut? Somewhere around there. And of course, you can use that because it's magnetized and it pulls it back. Alright. Somehow or another, I gotta hold that up and that up. There we go. And get this screw in there all while balancing. Totally need more space. Let's see, I got it just a hair off of that. Not exactly, but close. This a little over to that, and then tighten this up. Tighten this up a little bit, so it squares it up a little bit. Not that it's anywhere near perfect, because it ain't. But there we go, 2 uprights. Let me back this off. It might actually be better, huh? Then something to go across the top, which we got. I don't know what, but we got something. And I know this is the one to use because if anyone knows this printer, back, I don't know, a few months ago, I dropped it on, well, that cabinet back there, back when I had the printer on it, and I bent it. I bent this rod. And this is the one. See the red marks? Those are where it's bent. But for this, it don't matter. I can put it like that. And that bend won't make a particle of difference. Not one. What's up, Michael? So, I may actually cut that eventually. But for now, don't care. Maybe I will do this right. And this, I don't need to cut any, but I think I cut them all. Pretty sure I did. None of them things too. I have these, which I really don't like a whole lot, but they do work. These are the open built ones. They're kind of odd. They're hard to describe. You need a spacer in them because they're actually made to hold the. I don't know why they made the opening where you normally tighten the screw up to hold the eccentric nut, so you can like mount it and put a wheel on it, which makes no sense for a corner bracket for me, but whatever. If I'd have known that's what they were doing with it, I would have never ordered them. But that's life. But I do have another 8mm bolt, and I think that's a 10. Might be an 8. These definitely 10s or 12s. That's okay. Here's a magnet with a whole bunch of crap stuck to it. Thing I want off of it. Yep, T-nuts. Washer. Got some more T-nuts. Slide in. And I believe I can use either or here. If you can. And I actually have a box of T-nuts right here that I never even opened. Let's use the old ones up first. Here's another one. You know, I should almost use these on it. You just gotta put spacers. Spacers! Which I don't have enough of, do I? Do I have any more, do I? Nope. So that's out for now. Might use them for the bed slide. I'm gonna mount that. You know, all in all, the more I keep thinking about this stupid thing, it's actually not going to be a bad printer. It's probably actually going to be a pretty good printer. I'm really liking the idea of that height thing. My ingeniousness of the heightness. I'm on you. These frickin' slide-in ones never like to line up. Once you get them into the track, they're fine. But getting them to line up is nearly impossible. Somewhere around there. Just tighten it up to keep it from moving. Do this other one. Do I have another 8? I do. Put the slider on there. I don't drop it. God, I'm having a hard time today. What time is it? It's almost 11 already. What is up, Ann? I have one more 8. I really want one more 8. Oops, I just might. I do. And it doesn't need a spacer. Spacers! And let's get this on here, this away. Actually, this might be a spacer. This looks too long. Let us find out before I go any further. Is that bottom of the Nope. I can see light underneath that. So, yeah. When I just drop that nut. That's alright. Move this one in a little. Come on. I forgot those holes are bigger than the spin ends are. The head holds, but the spin ends slide right out. The T-nut falls right through the hole. Except for when you want it to. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, it's so close. I don't know why it falls out in the first place, but whatever. Come on, line up. Let's get you somewhere close. And we'll kind of align this one up to match it. Even though I'll never get it exact, I don't think. Where the hell are you, Tina? There you are. It's pretty darn close. Again, this is just a general come on reference. But I don't want to torque things yet. Let me guess, the T-nut didn't catch. Nope. Frickin' spin ends. One thing I hate about spin ends is when they don't spin in. Nothing is worse than a spin in that doesn't spin in. They're very much obnoxious. Which is why I went to buying all. Slide ends. Because the spin ends, half the time, don't want to spin in the channel. And then they just slide out. All right. Again, I'm just eyeballing this. It's not. All right, that's spun. Nothing square, straight yet. Just getting it in the general location, and that ain't it. Michael. Why aren't you sliding? Okay, that's close. It's not perfect, but it's close. Should probably just square it up. It'll probably almost be easier. But that would just be too easy. Too easy. You know, there's got to be an easier way to do this. No. Like always, the frickin' spin ends don't spin. There it goes. And there we have a base frame. Isn't that cool? That you can actually see it because it's too freaking big to get it in the camera. But there's your basic iframe. Far from square or perfect, but all said and done, it'll actually be fairly rigid. I will be adding more like angles here on the bottom eventually. For now, I'm not worried about them. Right now, I just want to kind of get the concept together, get everything kind of in place, figure out exactly what everything's going to do, and then I'll add structure and square everything up. It's kind of got a lean to it. Let's see. What else? What else? Coffee. Coffee time. Administration, cool. So, I do have to design this. Now that I kind of know where those are going, can I put these outside, have the bearing right here, and have that go up the channel kind of, sort of, somewhat. And it looks like I can. You know, it's kind of close. But on that note, I can always just slide these in. I can unscrew these and just slide the whole frame in and make it a little bit narrower right here. Which, what do we have for width now? Let's take a 300 millimeter bed. Oh yeah, no problem. 360. 36 centimeters. So you basically have 30 millimeters of space for a bigger bed on either side. Which isn't a whole lot. But you could still put it bigger than the 200. The 300 should slide in there without a problem if it came down to it. Then these go here for the bed. Do a bed like I have with all my other ones, which I already got a bed set up. All you gotta do is bolt it together and then clamp it, because I do a weird, stupid clampy thing for the bed, which actually works really well. That's what that is. I haven't had a problem with it. And this does have the other kind in here. So that will go there. And one of these will wash, are they? Did I not? Yep. wonder if I can just put a washer on it. Need the spacer. I don't think I can. This thing's like a weird size, so the washer won't fit in the hole, huh? Yep. We love open builds, but these angle brackets are not angle brackets. They're foot brackets. They're made to use eccentric nuts. The thing is both holes are made to use eccentric nuts. So you have to get a stupid spacer in there to use a nut. Otherwise it doesn't hold. The head slides right through. It's absolutely ridiculous. As you can see on this nut, I have a little purple spacer ring, which works. Which is why. I don't get why. Why aren't they like a normal slot like all the other ones of these are? Every single one of these things have the same stupid slot, except for the open build ones. Makes no sense. No sense at all. Is this one spacer the right size to slide in there? I don't think so. Are these heads big enough to just catch and not worry about it? They are. The screw bobbles around in there, but that don't matter too much. Oh, but I need the frickin' washer because they're thinner too. So that's gonna hit. Yep. And I can't put the washer on there because the opening's too small. Oh, and they're so narrow, if I put the washer on there, the two heads hit. Yep. Nice job, open builds. I don't get what you were thinking, but it wasn't a good thing. Not at least a normal thing. So I need to print some spacers. They're very easy. I thought I had a bunch of them here. I printed out a ton of them when I first got it. Then I can actually continue on. What if I got a different, slightly smaller washer that will fit over the M5s? Probably not. That fit over the M5 screw? Nope. Can't use an M4 because the head won't catch. Well, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. JMTX, the angle brackets, these are actually made. I got a buttload. These are weird ones. These ones from Open Builds, which are really pretty. I mean, I don't know if you can see them, but they're like really, they're not cast, they're machined. They're really like, the finish on them is absolutely gorgeous. They're made to use their bolt, but they're actually made, the hole is big, to take their eccentric nut. And what you're actually supposed to do with them is screw them onto here and then put a wheel on there. That's what they're made for. They're wheel chucks. They're not actually structural angle brackets, which I did not know when I bought them. I bought like a dozen or two of them when I started building this. And I actually still have some on there. Yeah, all the bottom of them, the base frame is still made of these because I got them and I had to use them. Because I wasn't buying more and they weren't cheap. They were kind of expensive. Again, not that you can see it on the camera, but the machining and everything, I mean, they're really well made. They're absolutely gorgeous, and smooth and beautiful, and you know, they're machined. Like these are cast, and you can tell they're cast. Where these are, you know, made from billet aluminum or something and all ground and clean, and you know, these things are gorgeous. Anodized after. These are just painted. Way cleaner than these. You know, again, these are just cast, or these are machined. But they're made to take eccentric nuts in the hole. So the hole's bigger than normal. And the whole thing's small because, it's supposed to be a wheel chuck, which is totally odd. I did not know that. I mean, they still work. We just kind of play games with them to get them to work. Which I could do. I thought I had a bunch of those spacers printed out because I made a bunch of spacers for them. Yes, Ivan Miranda. Spacers! They know somebody's going to say that again, even though it's already been said a couple times. Let me look in some of the other boxes of nuts and bolts and crap and stuff. Because I might have thrown them into another box. I do not see any there. I may have just thrown them all out because I got tired of dealing with them too. Nope. But I bet there's some 5mm in here that I can use. That's a Series Hodge Podge screw pack. Here's the actual wheels. See, they actually fit. Open build eccentric nut. So basically, which makes no sense. Because if you mount this up and you put the eccentric nut in there and the eccentric nut fits perfectly in there and, operates and tightens the wheel. But then this is too big. I could see one of them, if that's their plan, being a bigger hole. I don't know. Just makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. But these are all their eccentric nuts. They got plenty of, and a bunch of their wheels and knockoff wheels and aftermarket wheels. Boy, all the stuff. Let me start getting rid of some of the stuff that I'm not going to use. Of course, the minute I get rid of it, I'm going to want it. But that's a wish. I do prefer open builds stuff generally. This is the only thing I found that really makes no sense to me at all. That they carry. It's just dumb concept. And I love their screws. They have the best frickin' screws. I don't care. They're awesome. Way better than these. Lower profile. They don't get in the way of each other. They're just awesome. But, they need a buttload of these. That head'll catch. Let's look at this Hodge Podge box because I know I should have a mess more of those screws. There's one. And that's definitely an 8mm. That's fiberglass. Probably the last one. And you can't use these with those. You can't use that kind of screw because the head overlaps each other because it's so tight down in there with those. I got a bunch of those, but I can't use them on those brackets because the heads will hit and overlap and you won't be able to tighten one of them. The other one will be in its way. I just got my shirt in the clip. So, we might be at a standstill once it's already 11, quarter after 11. And I was going to kill it at 11:30 anyways. I'm only going to do it for about an hour. I got an upright in. Got the feet popped on. This thing's way off. Well, I did not notice that. I I could actually square it up and straighten it now that I got a clue, but I don't know where this is going to actually land yet. You know, sliding forward and back until the bed's on, which is why I wanted to get this on. I get this on, then I can mount the bed because I got all the stuff for the bed, I believe. I used to. I might not anymore. Hodge Podge. Trying to fix the Hodge Podge. Yes, need coffee. What's up, Robert? Oh, look, another screw. Those are actual open base ones. So what I think I got to do, can I use these spaced where they're dome heads? If I make a spacer, will they butt into each other? Yes, they do. They do before I even put a spacer on it. So that ain't working. When I space it, I won't be able to tighten them. Oh, once they're in there. Wonder if I can use one open builds. I'm very limited on these. Which is a much lower profile head. And I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing here. That looks like it'll be a pain in the butt, but I think it'll work. See, I don't know if you can see it in there, but inside, it's so tight, the two heads actually butt each other because there's not enough room. If I put a spacer on there, they both space off the bracket a little bit and they end up colliding. Or just plain getting in the way of each other so you can't get the tool in there. But if I use one open build screw and one chromey, whatever those are, screws, stainless steel, it should work. Because I'd really like to use these on that particular spot. Because I think they'll work better. Or I can pull a few of these that I have 8mm on up here, put 10s with the washers because this bracket will easily take the washers. Use the 8s here. Use the 10s there with the washer, or 9s, whatever they are. How big are these? I think they're 10. $9.5. Yeah, they're 10. But the spacer's enough. If I put a washer underneath the head, it's enough to keep it from bottoming out in the channel. Actually tighten it. I don't know yet. These are the issues of the Hodge Podge printer. Crap. And then this goes on here. Belts go there. And it's going to roll away when I want to sit there and do something with it. And then this will go, not sure where. I might actually put these on the inside. But then, if they're on the inside, a bigger bed can't be had. So they definitely have to go on the outside. But I want this not in the way of the belt, but not too far out either. And then everything's twisting. We don't like twisting. That's the other thing I'm trying to design out. Like if you look at like the Creality printers. The motors are in the back. Okay. Then you have the carriage, and then you have the head, and all the weight's like taking this and kind of twisting it down on these, on the uprights, because the motor's in the back that's lifting. Then you have the 2020 and all the carriage. Now, normally this is just a 20 millimeter, not 40, but still, it's lifting this way, and all the weight's over here. So the whole carriage is trying to do this. And then they put the carriage, they have this turned, if it's 2040, they do have a couple with 2040. So it's not stopping this. I mean, it still does. The wheels hold, but they're twisting the bearings in the wheels, which just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you should really, if the weight's out here, lift out here. Maybe that's what I'll do. Lift out there. Put this in the back. Although this one's still lifting out there, this one, the main lift, is in line with the weight. This is still the main lift. That's just a secondary guide. So this is carrying all the weight and stabilizing and keeping it from twisting. Yeah. Where this one just keeps this side that has almost no weight, depending. I may, like on the Hodge Podge printer, the pumpkin over here, I actually moved the X motor from the left side. They're almost always have the extruder motor and the X motor, both motors on the left side. A lot of them do is single Z lead screw. The problem with that, wow, that lead screw doesn't take up like a tenth of the freaking height of this thing. I shouldn't say that. It's about a little more than half. It's like 2/3. Definitely should get a longer lead screw. I wonder if I can set that right on top. Once I get the carriage and everything on it, probably can. With all the motor weight over here for both the X motor and the Z motor, or X motor and the extruder motor, it's not terrible because they have the one Z motor, one Z lift, so there's no weight over here. When you have dual, you're better off moving your X motor over to the other side. So when you're home, you have the extruder motor and the X motor, and it evens it out on the carriage, which is why on the pumpkin I did that. Not only that, I brought the lead screws to the front and lined them up right midline with the X motor. It's just in front of. So the weight isn't twisting on the carriage. Does that make sense? Which I think I'm going to do with this too. Anyway, it's 11:20 something, and I got to kill it at 11:30 because I still have to make lunch for Mom and all of that crap. The real life stuff. So, it's not going fast, but it's going. We now have an upright, sort of. We have a concept. Not that you can really see it. It's kind of a big frame. Anybody got a spare like 300 bed they want to get rid of? Like a carriage and a heat bed and 12 volt? Because all I got is 12 volt power supplies. I don't have a 24 anymore because I got rid of it with the. I should have kept the 24, but anyway, we won't get into that. I have 12 volt power supplies. We got an old 300 millimeter bed they want to get rid of, or a good 300 millimeter bed they want to sell cheap, and I'll take that bed off and put it on here, and I'll put the good one on that. That's really the only thing I haven't replaced on that is the bed, and it's a piece of crap. It won't go above 60 degrees. It goes into thermal runaway. Even when I turn off all the safeties to a point, I mean, I won't completely turn them off, but in Marlin, you can set, you can set how much temperature has to rise in a certain amount of time. And I set it to the absolute minimums, or maximums, I should say. maximum time with minimum temperature rise, and it still sets off thermal runaway above like 55, 60 degrees. It just doesn't heat up fast enough above that. It's kind of a crappy bed, but it is what it is. So anyway, pickup time. Clean up a little bit. Figured out a few things. I think what I'll do is print some spacers for the screws. Spacers! So I can use those open build angle brackets. And go from there. That will be our next Hodge Podge construction. What we got for bearings here? Well, we still got a couple 5 minutes. These are belt bearings because they got the little lip on them. You got all kinds of bearings laying around. Skate bearings. It fits right on there, kind of almost too tight, which is perfect. It's got a nice smooth spin. It's actually very nice. So I got bearings. Oops. So if I set this right here, or just under here, I'm literally make a mount so the bearing drops into this groove, because it actually fits in the groove of the 2020 pretty nicely. So the clamp would clamp over it, and it would lock it into the groove with it. That would keep the spacing about right. And then just slide the rod wherever I need it to go. So these sit correctly. Or the belts, wherever I want the belts. Which I have a feeling I'm not going to exactly align with the rail, but it'll be close. Wow, that's actually... I wish I could stabilize it. That would make a good bed platform. I wonder if I can stabilize it somehow. What's up, Maximilian? You came just in time for us to say see ya. What's up, Viking? I'm getting ready to kill it. It's 11:30. I gotta go start lunch and crap. Y'all starting to join in just as I'm getting ready to kill it. How very nice of you. I'll probably start restreaming again if no one else is after lunch. Like 12:31 here. About an hour or more. I may restream, but I gotta deal with reality. So yeah. And then I got a carriage piece to go across here somewhere. And actually, I think I'm going to use this one, which I will cut because that's a little big. It's only, about twice what I need. Yeah, just about exactly twice what I need. And that's about it. Or I may just use smooth rods, like smooth rods for the X. Although I'd rather use the 2020 for the X. I use smooth rods for the Z because of thickness. Where the 2020 I can actually make the again with the lead screw being kind of short, I can maximize it by just using a 2020 in the head instead of having a big, huge carriage that needs to ride on this and take up, 100 millimeters of space. Where a 2020 carriage, I can take up like 30 or 40 millimeters of space, and it's just about the same as, I can literally almost make it about the same as this. Now, obviously, the hot end and everything is longer, but I can shift that up and it can clear all this, so even when the carriage is full extent, the head can be up here. So yeah, that'll all work. Yeah. If you can't tell, I'm talking to myself out loud to you guys at the same time while I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Those are nice bearings. They are smooth. Remember them old, those were actually bought for fidget spinners. That's how old those are. I had those since the fidget spinner days. I think we need to bring fidget spinners back. What do you think, guys? Should we bring fidget spinners back? Should we start 3D printing fidget spinners again? I know Pyro Designs is trying to. His are really cool. I don't know if you guys have seen Pyro Designs fidget spinners, but he prints them with the little patterns. So when you spin it, it's like Mario is running and stuff. Because there's like, I don't know what you call that stop motion animation-y kind of thing where, you see the picture every once in a while. There's like 10 pictures on it, and it looks like Super Mario or whatever is running. It's very cool, actually, what he does with them. And he's still got the fidget spinners going. It died years ago. Remember when fidget spinners were all the rave? Everybody was raging about the fidget spinners. Had to have a fidget spinner. There's no bracket on that side, or this side, or this side. There's only the one under there. What do you know? What do you know? Anyway, I gotta kill it. It's 11:32. Put this over here. Oh, poor Nate. And clean up a little, and then go figure out lunch for Mom's. So, on that note, see you guys. It's been fun. It's been real fun.